Is this new Haptic Gunstock from DeadEye VR the best that you can buy? We're about to find out. Now, a little while ago, the team at DeadEye VR were nice enough to reach out and send me the OG Enforcer, this bad boy here. Now, this is still an incredible haptic pistol if you own one. And when paired with their gun stock, you've got a total solution that is absolutely wild. Now, one of the biggest things I liked with the Enforcer is there's no software. And what that means is we've got so many games now that because of modding, things like UEVR, gosh, look at Stalker 2, gosh, you can even play Halo now in VR. So if you've got a gun stock that has haptics and doesn't need software to interact with the game, you are golden, because those modded games often do not induce a haptic response. Now, there's other haptic pistols and haptic systems out there, but they need software in order to drive the haptics in the gun. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a plus and a negative to all of this. The benefits of having software driving the haptics means that you don't have to worry when you're swapping between different weapons about choosing the firing mode manually. But my preference is to have to change manually, knowing that the gun is going to support all of those different games. I mean, this will actually support every single native VR game or non-native VR games. This will support everything. Gosh, this could even support the kids running around in the backyard and just playing cowboys and Indians. It doesn't need any software. So, we're going to have a look at the differences between the OG Enforcer. This will really only matter for people that have already bought this, because you can't buy the old Enforcer anymore. On the website, on DeadEye VR, they've only got the newest version, and I really like what they've done here. A couple of the biggest complaints were the charging. The original Enforcer, you had to charge it by way of removing the cartridge and then pulling the battery out of it and physically charging it. That's a bit of an annoyance over time, I guess. But with the new version, it's charged by USB-C, so we don't have to worry about that. Plus, I really like the design aesthetic they've gone with. It's got a bit more of a futuristic design and a feel. I just wasn't really a fan of the white on the original Enforcer, but that's just me. But I really like what they've done here. I like the all-black design, and this has got my tick of approval. So, we're going to get on the game floor in a minute. We're going to put this through its paces. We're going to check out Stalker 2 in VR. Plus, we'll also do the, obligatory Contractors, and we'll put it through its paces. So, let's get into the video. This should be a good one. The unboxing. Let's get into it. So it came nicely packaged and very similar bits and pieces to the original. And we've got a few extra bits and pieces, but I'm excited to report that I believe this time we have a USB-C charging port, which was a bit of a bugbear of mine with the first edition. So we've got a USB-C charging cable there. Looks like we've got a little tiny, well, that's nice that they include a little charging brick. Now look, for me, that won't fit. I'm in Australia. So that is, I think, a Chinese style plug, but I've actually got myself a little adapter from the previous plug that the original one came with. So not a big deal for me. I can easily swap that out, plug that straight in, and we are good to go. Just bear that in mind that it may come with an overseas style plug. All right, what else? Oh, okay, interesting. So they've added the little dial wheel separately. I wonder if that's because it would protrude too much from the gun, and then that might cause some issues. So we'll have a look at that. And we've got a little bit of foam there. And of course, we've got our trusty little mascot. I love it. They've got the little dog mascot in there. So what have we got? This is Ala, DeadEye VR's lead product model and moral officer. Like it. Anyway, let's put those to the side, and we'll get out the little dial, and we'll just park that up there. Easy stuff, and we've got quite a nice little instructional card here, just sort of guiding you through what to do. If this is your first time getting an Enforcer, you know, this is going to be helpful, but I dare say a lot of this will be similar. But this is really cool. I like that there are some instructions here, because some people have been confused about how this actually works. And so this is really nice to see a very clear instruction card in the box. Right, so we'll put that there. We'll put that little bit of foam to the side, and we'll figure out what that's for. And then let's unveil, oh daddy, there she is. the Enforcer Mark II. Man, this thing looks wicked. Oh my goodness, this almost looks like this looks like I'm going to have to fire up Halo and go into VR. I mean, this looks like something out of Halo. Wow. Gosh, I love 3D printing, and this again is up there with some of the best 3D printing I have seen. My goodness. We've got a nutsert there, so that's obviously been heated and pressed in. And I'm happy to see there's a larger space there for the trigger. And so if we have a look at the OG, that was one of my bugbears. I've got big fat fingers, and I really was close. If I put my finger in there, it was pretty tight, and anyone with bigger fingers than me was going to really struggle with that. So I'm really happy to see that has actually increased the size of your finger. So that's good to see. Otherwise, a very similar look down the bottom here with the quick release mechanism. And I'll show you that mounted to the gun stock shortly, but I really like that design. I like the fact that you can lock and latch, but then very quickly with your fingers through like that, you can just unlatch and then relatch. And it auto latches when you actually put it onto the gun stock. It auto latches, so I like that it's got that. We've got our on-off switch there. So it's already come charged. That's the USB-C charge port. That is genius. I love it. Having to swap the battery out with the old version, for those that aren't aware, I'll show you here. Although it was a really cool design, you would basically release that little 3D printed latch there, and then this would slide down, and then that's where the battery was. But you would have to unplug it, connect it, charge it, and then put it back in, plug it back in. You know, they're just some extra steps that are a bit annoying. So I am happy to see that. Plus, a worry of mine with this original version was the electronics up in there. I was really worried that when you were inserting it, you'd have to be careful to make sure that that didn't foul up inside the body of the electronics there and damage anything. But I'm happy to say that that is just not even a thing that you have to worry about now, because the new version does away with it. So I'll lock and latch that. We'll get that off to the side, and yeah, they've provided the dial as a separate piece. I think that makes sense, otherwise it's probably going to protrude too much. So yeah, that's, is it keyed? I'll just see if it's keyed. Not sure if it is. Is it a keyway on it? Doesn't look like it does. It looks like it is keyed, but it's just, it's got lots of little, I don't know if you can see that up in there. See if we can get that to auto focus, but it is keyed, so you just need to get that on. You'll feel the little notches, and then we should be able to press that on. We are on. There we go. That's our dial wheel for all the way on, all the way off. Awesome. Okay, so now let's fire it up. This is interesting. So the other model, the original model, I should say, does not have that that mechanism there. So now I thought we might just have a closer look at this mechanism for putting the controller in. So once you've unscrewed that bolt, you can then lift up the haptic module here. So we can lift that up. We can then slide the controller into position. That can go back down, and then we can put the bolt back in and actually screw that all the way back in. Now don't do it up too tight. Main reason for that, it is just a nutsert that's in there, and it is plastic, so if you do that up too tight, you're going to break it. But once that's in, you're good to go, and then the haptics are all working. Now, I did actually like the original design of this, interestingly, because it was quite simply what actually looked like the hammer on a real gun, and it was so much quicker. You could put the controller in, you could latch that down, and you were good to go. So yeah, look, I guess I understand it from a design perspective, but it is a little bit more work to put your controller in or out. It's not major, but just be mindful of that screw, because over time if you're screwing that in and unscrewing it, or you've got friends that are playing with your gun controller as well, be careful, because that is a point of weakness where they could do that up too tight and break it tight. So that's tight enough. That's firm and that's locked in. Now what I like with this is, oh, it does. Okay, we do have a slide mechanism there. Okay, so I'll show you how it works with the original Enforcer. We're in auto. Okay, so you can see there, and really nice haptic response there. So I'm really interested to see how the new version goes. So here we go, we're in auto. All right, we'll just speed that up. Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow, interesting. Let's see. Which do I think? They feel equal, actually. They feel the same, which is good. Oh, gosh. There's a fair bit going on there. I'll tell you what is nice, straight out of the gate, this is more quiet. And that was a big complaint of people. I had a few people DMing me worried because I guess the house they're living in, they've got roommates, or they might be in a little apartment, and without a shadow of a doubt, the original Enforcer is way louder. I mean, listen to that compared to... There is no clack. No clack at all. Don't get me wrong, this one sounds cool when you don't have your headphones or your VR headset on, but when you're in game, you don't care what this sounds like. You care what the game sounds like. So I think the less noise that the actual gun makes in real life is probably a good thing. And gosh, I mean, look at the movement in that. Oh, that is just awesome. All right, we'll go to burst. All right, we'll just, nice, and then single. Yeah, nice. That was delayed, we'll speed it up. Yeah, so that's pretty much 1 for 1 there. Yeah, I am definitely liking the direction that they've gone in with this. I like the futuristic look of it. I like the USB-C charge port, and maybe just keep an eye on that there just to make sure that it's not going to loosen off. Otherwise, everything is pretty much like for like. We'll get the hand strap on it. Quality is pretty much identical to the old one, and yeah, I'm liking what we've got going on here. I now realise what that little bit of foam is for. Same as the original one, you're sticking this piece of foam just down into the insert of where the controller goes, just in there. You can probably see that that cutout, or not cutout, but I guess that 3D printed insert there, and then that bit of foam is going to go straight into there. What that'll do is actually help when you put your controller in to wedge it in position and stop it from coming out, and you're good to go. So let's get this one ready to go. Let's get on the game floor and we're going to put it through its paces. Here we are, the quintessential first-person shooter when it comes to testing out gun stocks and haptics, I personally believe anyway. So I normally do the round through here. We can go down to the shooting range in a sec and tune in the haptics, and then we can actually do the active part of this shooting range where we can move through the complex and take out the targets. So first things first, it feels good, and I guess it should do, because it's the same gun stock that you would have got with the original Enforcer, and this gun stock works really good. I'll show you some of the quick features. So you've got this quick release here, so you can actually adjust your forward grip, and you've got the same with the rear here. So if we actually just show you this, you can actually slide that in or out nice and quickly, and you've got a quick latch adjustment there. That really makes games like this a breeze. Nothing worse than being in combat, picking up a different weapon, especially if you're playing Showdown, where it's an online, it's a mass multiplayer, everyone's going for gold, and you're picking up different weapons. You need to be able to make those adjustments quick on the fly. So let's grab our weapon and see how we're positioned. Oh my goodness, looking down the red dot there looks just amazing. And that actually, gosh, that is in the right position, I think. So let's test out the forward attachment. Oh man, yeah, that's good. Makes sense because that's normally where I would run with this. I like running the, I think it's an AR-15, but I like running this style where I've got full auto, single shot, and I'm running the red dot, nice and compact. So let's do it. Let's head down to the shooting range and let's test her out. So we'll make our way down here. Okay, let's go. That almost just feels a little bit slow. I think we'll speed that up. So if we press and hold the red button, turn the dial. Okay, and we'll grab another cartridge. Lock and load. Still a bit slow. Speed it up just a bit more. There we go. And to speed it up, you basically turn the dial clockwise. To slow it down anti-clockwise. I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh, that's feeling good. I reckon we'll just go a little bit more. Grab another cartridge. And that's another thing I like. It's not fouling anywhere. The design of it does look slightly, I guess, longer, or will we say taller. I was worried about it fouling when you're trying to reload and chamber around, but so far it's not getting in the way. So we will dial that just a little bit more, and oh, daddy, that is beautiful. I'm happy with that. Okay, let's go single shot. So we'll switch firing modes and grab another cartridge. She's in. No problems loading that there. That's working really good. Oh, I forgot to change fire rate here. Okay. Wow. Gosh, that's pretty much dialed in. That's 1-to-1. I'm happy with that. Okay, single fire rate is good. Auto is good. Let's throw another cartridge in just so she's good to go. We'll put that away. And this is a feature that I really like. So if we pull this little lever here towards us, we can now detach the gun haptics and we are in pistol mode, or we're free to grab things like, you know, we can grab a smoke there, we can chuck that, we can grab a flashbang, throw that over our shoulder, plus you can even grab things like your knife. So I like that you've got that hand free, but importantly, we can switch to our pistol. So if we now switch to single shot, I'm pretty sure this is a single shot Glock, or is it one of those autos? So now we can actually cup and oh, okay, it's in full auto. We'll change the fire mode, there we go. I like it. Let's get a cartridge in there, grab from there. And there we go. We can even switch to auto if we want, and let's throw another cartridge in there. We're on full auto, grab another cartridge, lock and load. Good to go, and let's test her out. That feels amazing. Oh yeah, let's get some more of that. Man, that feels cool. Wow. That really does feel spectacular. To be shooting full auto with a Glock with haptics is, man, it's magical. That is a really cool experience. So I like it. We can throw the sidearm down. We can then quickly latch again. And as you grab that, that little lever latch auto locks, and then we're back on. Now let's test out a couple of other weapons. So we'll put that one away, and let's actually bring up our menu options here, and let's go to our loadout. Why don't we switch to a, let's switch to a sniper. Let's see how quickly we can adjust this. So we're going to go SKS, we'll lock and load, and there we go. We've now got the good old trusty SKS. Man, I love this thing. So naturally, we're going to want to extend that out a little bit. Oh, that is so much better. Okay, so we'll latch that there. And how are we for our forward attachment? That could actually just go forward a little bit. So I reckon we'll just bring that forward. And, okay, I reckon that needs to come in a bit. Yeah, just a bit more actually. And oh my goodness, we have switched to sniper, and that actually feels like I am holding that long sniper rifle in my hands. That is incredible. So let's get a shot down. We'll make sure we're in single. Okay, single shot, and oh, that feels good. And this is what I was talking about in a previous video where I've reviewed the original Enforcer. You do not need to be messing with the fire rate very much. Once you set it, I find a lot of weapons and the fire rate feels very similar in VR, in haptics, unless you switch to something like, I don't know, an Uzi where it's just going to spray those bullets real quick, or be really slow, like maybe a Colt 45 or something. I find that once you set these and get them dialed in, it's near enough is good enough when you're in VR. So that is just working beautifully. How good is that? And then we can just pull that off, grab our sidearm. I think we've got a new cartridge in there, maybe not. Let's grab one, lock and load, switch to auto, and how good is that? I love it. So you can pretty quickly switch between your weapons, put that down, switch back on. We are good to go. Grab our sniper, and you are putting rounds down. Man, that is good. I like it. I really do like that setup. Now we'll try one more weapon. Let's switch to, I reckon it makes sense to go to an SMG. Then we're kind of testing a bit of all of it. If you're doing a rifle and you're doing burst fire, that's much of a muchness. Let's actually switch to, I really like the MP5. Okay, so there she is, MP5, nice compact little thing. So yes, straight away, the stock is way too far away, so we'll just bring that in. And we're also going to want to bring that forward one in. Let's test there. Oh man, gosh, that's good. I'm looking right down the iron sights. I'm lined up nicely. That feels really, really good. So let's get her in full auto and we'll see what that's feeling like. Oh man, and this is what I mean. I don't feel like I need to adjust that fire rate. I could fine tune it a little bit more, but it's good enough. Near enough is good enough for me anyway. When I'm in VR and I've got the haptics, I've got the audio of the gunfire, man, that absolutely feels spectacular. So got to remember how do we get that cartridge out? Oh, that's right. We've actually got to press, hold and grab that one, so it's a little different. There it is. Okay, interesting. So do we foul there? Yeah, so just a little bit of a foul there. We just bump on that, but it's not major. You can still grab it and cock it, but you're probably going to tap the front of the Enforcer there, and that is feeling good. Let's switch cartridges, and then let's switch fire rate, and we'll go single shot, and let's see how that feels. Is that single? Oh no, we went burst. Okay, we'll test burst out in a second. So we're on single. Oh, we've got to switch it there. Probably just a little bit quick, so you might want to just tune that down a little bit. Just a little bit too responsive on the haptics. So we'll grab that cartridge, get her out. It's always tricky. It's always tricky loading the MP5, I find, because you've got to press a button and physically pull that cartridge out. Yeah, that's much more accurate. Okay, now let's switch fire rate. We're going to go to burst, so the yellow button, and let's see what burst fire rate feels like. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, wow. Are we on full auto there? No, that is burst. Okay, cool. We are on burst. Yep, right. New cartridge. Grab, gone. Damn knife. I always pick up everything but the cartridge in the heat of battle. Okay, and burst. Oh man, that is just feeling really, really good. So, let's get into the active firing range. We're going to switch back to my tried and trusted carbine. And we're going to go the M4A1. I always call it an M15 or anyway, it's an M4A1. So that is my weapon of choice. We will click save. We'll jump back and there she is. Let's make sure we've got a full clip. although I think it comes with one. We're in full auto. I'm going to switch to single shot because that's my preferred fire method in the range. And let's go. Okay, here we go. SEAL Team 6. We're on single shot. Moving in. Tango's down. Tango's down. One more. He's down. Okay, moving the stairs. Tango down. Okay, we've got one up the top here. Tango down. You just get a reload. Okay. Moving up. Tango's down. Tango's down. Oh, got him. Yep, moving forward. Okay. I reckon we'll get a fresh clip. Okay, reload. Going to lower level. Tango down, tango down. Tango down. Okay, we're clear. Moving forward. Tango's down. Nice. Reload. Moving forward. Tango's down. Room clear. Tango's down. All right. Moving forward. Whoop. Tango's down. All right. I think that's room clear. Oh. One more. What did we get? Woo. 146.88. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Well, it would be amiss of me not to be doing a modded game with this gunstock. And as mentioned in the intro, Stalker 2 VR, the UEVR mod. Now, that is where this gunstock really shines. There's no software to drive the haptics. It's all happening by your trigger pull, and you can tune it here. That means games like this are going to work beautifully with this gunstock. So let's make sure we're in single shot. We are. We're going to switch to our AK-47. Now I know from this save I've actually got a bullet jammed there, so we're just going to free that jammed bullet. Okay, and we are hot. Okay, Stalker 2 UEVR with the Enforcer Haptic Gunstock. It doesn't get any better. So we've got some anomalous activity here. Now we'll make our way past here, although there's a bit of the mission progression just to our right into there, and I've died a couple of times going in. We're just gonna go for a bit of an explore around the zone. For those of you familiar with Stalker, you know this'll I'm sure be tickling your taste buds, and you'll know the action and the atmosphere that I'm experiencing. But for those that haven't experienced this game in VR yet, man, if you've got any interest in this sort of genre, do yourselves a favour. Get the game, get the mod. I think it's working pretty damn good for a modded game. I mean, we've got 60 OF, look at this, right? I can move the gun around and everything. It's awesome. I don't have hands and arms, but I don't really care. I guess I can look past that stuff in a game, but I get it for others. They want that. But yeah, with a gunstock, this is pretty good, man. Roof looks clear. Gosh, I'm just constantly hearing stuff in this game. We made it past that section there. Oh shit. Oh, it's a barrel. My goodness, I'm shooting at a barrel. I've just wasted how many rounds? Oh no. Okay, we're gonna have to switch to pistol. Okay. I'm just going to reload that. Now you might be thinking, why don't we switch to the MP5 that I've got there, and let me show you. It's a modded game, right? So we do have a little bit of jank. This was working the last time I played, but now when we switch to the MP5, all you see is the magazine. So, okay, you got to take the good with the bad, but we're going to switch to pistol because at least we've got ammo for that. So here's the beauty. We can actually now detach and we can now at least run our pistol. So just reloaded. Yep, we're clear. This looks like we might have some action. Oh, wicked, we got ammo. Yes. I gotta remember what my grab is. There we go. Oh my goodness, look at all this ammo. Oh, yes. Okay, we got a bunker here. We're going in on pistol. Oh, jeepers creepers. Okay, this looks clear. Heading back up. Oh shit! Oh man, we are in trouble. Jeez. Oh, they're coming. Come on. Oh. Oh, I got two of them. Oh. Come on. Are we going to reload? Oh my goodness. This is it, this is it, this is it. Come on. Oh my gosh, reload. Quick, 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 quick. Oh, they got me! Man, I got goosebumps just then. That's just... And there we have it. That's my review for the Enforcer. The new version is really nice. A couple of things though that I found when gaming with it. First of all, this quick latch here. Every now and then, if I pull it with my fingers, I found it could just get lightly stuck in there. So I'm going to let the team know that might be something that they can modify. It could also just be the way I'm pulling that lever in and it's sort of crushing it and just getting it caught in there. Other than that, it works really well. The ability to unlatch, remove the Enforcer, use your secondary or your sidearm, throw grenades, grab a health pack, that stuff, and then click it straight back on and know that it's not going to go anywhere is really good. And then the only other thing I found, I think it's the tracking with the Quest 3. I like to get right down and really close to my sights, and sometimes I'd get too close. I think it would just impact the tracking in the headset. So that's something to be aware of as well. Once I adjusted my game play style though, so that I wasn't actually getting so far down and get sort of through the sights, I wasn't having those tracking issues. Just something to be aware of. But the immersion that this brings in-game is absolutely wild. The gun stock itself hasn't changed and it works really good. You've got an adjustment point here so you can actually adjust this up and down. You've got your adjustment points here for the stock to go forward and back, and then an adjustment point here for this forward grip to go forward and back. It just does everything well. The fact that it works for modded games as well is awesome. And if you stayed until the end, don't forget, like and subscribe, share these videos with all your crazy friends. And this is actually how I managed to do the overlay, because I've now got a whole green screen set up. So I'm going to be adding to this in time. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.